Welcome to the UTSA Recital Hall. To make your experience here a pleasant one, we ask that you please turn off or silence your cell phone. Do not talk or text on your cell phone. Take children needing attention to the outer lobby. Refrain from taking flash photography. And please exit or enter during breaks in the music or during intermission when possible. Please note that ushers are located at the rear of the hall and house management is on duty. Thank you for your cooperation. For more information on music department events or becoming a music donor, please visit our website at music.utsa.edu. Enjoy the performance.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Dean Zarmbinski, and I'm the musical director of the group of you see before you, and many of them are in the audience. And we are Encore, Military City USA's beginning band for veterans. Now, we're not all beginners. We have various levels of experience on our instruments. Many are beginners. Many played in high school or college and maybe hadn't touched it for a while and picked it back up. And we're just so thrilled with how this group has grown in the now 13, 14 months since we started last October. And you'll hear a lot of music from 3 different groups as we go throughout the morning. But we're going to begin by performing our national anthem. I'll just ask you to stand as you're able, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We're so delighted to have the support of so many friends and families to watch Encore. My name is Tracy Cowden, and I'm the director of the School of Music here at UTSA. And it has been my great honor to help found this program, Encore, this beginning and intermediate band for veterans. You'll actually hear 3 different groups perform today, and we're really excited about that. And so glad that so many of you could join us, as I said. There's a little bit of information on your program on the back. You'll see some of the corporate foundation support that we have received this year to help underwrite this program. We've made this free for veterans to participate, so please help spread the word. There's a QR code on the back for people to register for January enrollment, so there's another opportunity for more veterans, and I know there are some out there that we're looking to have you join, hopefully, in January. And if you have any questions about the program at all, please feel free to see me afterwards. In the meantime, I would like to introduce someone special to you who is going to make yet another introduction. Bryce Kyle is a PhD student at UTSA and also a veteran and a wonderful clarinetist. And he has been involved with Encore since the beginning as a mentor for the clarinets. And he also has developed a lot of other interests along the way in terms of advocating for student veterans and working with me to help get the word out about this program and some other initiatives as well. So Bryce is a student veteran himself. He was in the Army, and we're delighted to have him at UTSA and delighted to have him speak to you today. So please help me welcome Bryce Kyle.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out and supporting Encore this morning. Like Tracy mentioned, I'm a PhD student here at the university, and I help out with the clarinet section here at Encore. This semester, I was awarded a legislative fellowship with the VFW and Student Veterans of America in support of the Not Just a Number Act. This is a bill in the Senate that seeks to incorporate veteran benefits usage data into the VA's suicide prevention efforts. Eating food, living indoors, getting education, these are all proactive mental health care. While I was being briefed on the act, it struck me that Encore is this bill in action. One of the goals of Encore is to support community mental health care, not as a music therapy program, but music as a naturally therapeutic pursuit. Thus, the crossover between Encore and Not Just a Number Act is proactive community mental health care. So with that, I would like to, as Tracy said, introduce somebody else, and that is Mitch Fuller from the VFW. And a little bit about Mitch. So Mitch holds several prominent positions within the VFW in Texas. He's the Director of Administrative Operations and Legislative Affairs, as well as the National State Legislative Chairman for the VFW Department of Texas. Additionally, he serves as the Commander of Texas VFW District 28, overseeing 15 VFW posts in Central Texas. His previous roles include being an All-American Commander of Post 10427 in Leander, a U.S. Army veteran of the Iraq War. Mitch's military honors include the Bronze Star and the Combat Action Badge. In his civic life, Mitch was the mayor pro tem and a city council member in Cedar Park from 2007 to 2014. He actively participates in community activities, serving on the board of directors for both the Leander Chamber of Commerce and the Williamson County Veterans Treatment Court Foundation. His community contributions have been recognized with the Congressional Veteran Commendation from Congressman John Carter in 2022 and the 2020 Citizen of the Year Award from Leander Chamber of Commerce. Please join me in welcoming Mitch Fuller.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you, and you guys knocked out the national anthem. That gave me chills. It was an all veterans playing the national anthem, and we know that's special to us, of course. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the VFW, and it's going to be a great pleasure to work with Bryce. So Bryce will be coming to Washington, D.C. with the VFW National Legislative Committee to advocate for the Not Just a Number Act and our other legislative priorities. But I want to talk about the VFW and a brief discussion of our history. The VFW was founded in 1899 by Spanish-American war veterans, and we were born in the need for advocacy. So advocacy was the reason that the Veterans of Foreign Wars was founded. It was about veterans' benefits from those Spanish-American war veterans, and a lot of those Rough Riders that Teddy Roosevelt charged San Juan Hill were recruited right here in San Antonio, as we know. So the VFW was founded in 1899. The Department of Texas VFW, our charter, we received on April 21st, 1921. So the Texas legislature recognized our 100th anniversary birthday in the 2021 legislative session. And everybody understands the significance of April 21st, right? San Jacinto Day. I think that day was chosen on purpose for the Texas VFW's charter. We're congressionally chartered, and our congressional charter has 7 purposes. 1, to preserve and strengthen comradeship among its members. 2, to assist worthy comrades. 3, to perpetuate the memory and history of our dead and to assist their surviving spouses and orphans. To maintain true allegiance to the government of the United States and fidelity to its Constitution and laws. To foster true patriotism. To maintain and extend the institutions of American freedom. And to preserve and defend the United States from all enemies. That congressional charter was received in 1936. So we have a vital role in Washington, D.C. through our congressional charter, through our legislative advocacy efforts. And the Not Just a Number Act is about continuing to address veteran suicide and get better at suicide prevention and work with the VA. Our other legislative priorities, there's 96 bills that we support in Congress, bipartisan. We have bipartisan support for all of our initiatives. Our great success last year nationally was the PACT Act, the Comprehensive Burn Pit Toxic Exposure Bill that Bryce and I and other veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan and the other theaters were exposed to. And it also addresses Vietnam veterans and Persian Gulf War veterans as well. So that was the biggest legislative victory in at least 30 years since the Agent Orange legislation for Vietnam veterans in the early 90s. So we continue to be at the forefront of legislative advocacy for all veterans, not just members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, but all veterans, all 1.5 million veterans in Texas. So I also work with the Texas legislature. Our big view in the Texas VFW is expanding alternatives to opioids. The opioid crisis in this country has not just affected veterans, it's affected all of society. And unfortunately, the VA has been very effective, and I don't mean that in a good way, at just throwing pills at people. So there are numerous veterans, numerous brothers and sister veterans, they may have 7 pills that they take. Here's 4 for your pain and anxiety, here's 3 for your PTSD, and they may be taking 200 pills a week, and that contributes to mental health crisis. So we are advocates for cannabis in Texas, ensuring that hemp-derived consumables, which I personally use, remain legal, and we achieved that victory. We killed a bill in the Texas legislature in the 2023 session. So we are about veterans making the choice that we want, that we feel is effective. This is effective, music therapy. It may be a service dog. It may be equine therapy. But if it's an alternative to the opioids that works for that veteran, let them have access to it. And so we're strongly advocating for that, and that's also a national priority for the VA to study the efficacy of medical cannabis. So it's a pleasure to be with you, and this is really awesome, this group, and I'm sure there's a therapeutic role for some of you, all of you maybe, for this, but it's a joy to be with you and an honor to be with you. Thank you all for your service, and I commend the University of Texas at San Antonio for this great program. So we're going to get visibility of this within the VFW. Thank you very much. God bless America.
Thanks so much, Mitch. Before we move on with the musical offerings this morning, I wanted to give a shout out to Miss Adam Clark. I don't know if she's in the audience, Bexar County Clerk. Well, she's been supporting the program and is a pioneering figure as the first Latina and woman-elect as Bexar County Clerk in Texas. Her career started in the Sheriff's Office in 1997, where she specialized in Latin print examination and worked with numerous law enforcement agencies. In her current role, she oversees vital records, including historical Spanish archive records, and has introduced award-winning initiatives like the Straight to You Records on the Run program. She holds various positions, including Bexar County Treasurer and leadership roles in national and local government organizations. Ms. Adam Clark is deeply involved in her community, serving on several boards and actively participating in school and civic activities. Ms. Adam Clark, we're honored to have you in support of our Veteran Initiative, and thank you for your work in the greater Bexar County area. And with that, I turn it over to Dean for the reason we're all here, to support community music making. So thank you.
All right, the group you see before you is our new jazz ensemble that we started with Encore this year, and thanks to a suggestion by one of our band members, we call this group the 210 Veterans Jazz Band. Before we begin our two numbers that we're going to present for you, there are just three folks that I want to introduce to you over here in our rhythm section. First of all, on piano is a gentleman I met 30 years ago, a fellow Air Force band musician, now retired as I am. Mr. Doug Bennett on the piano has joined us this morning. Doug, thank you. On the drum kit, a retired Army band musician who has been working this entire semester with some of our percussionists in the jazz realm, introducing them to learning to play the drum kit. And I've known Eddie for about 20 years, I think. Eddie, is that about right? Eddie Aguilar on the drum kit back here. And finally, playing bass with this group is Mr. Juan Garcia. Juan started teaching our low brass beginning band members this year and has been working with our bass guitar player, teaching him bass as well. And I'm very pleased to say that Juan has agreed to take on the role as assistant music director of Encore starting in January. That's Juan Garcia on the bass right now. All right, we're going to play two selections for you. We're going to begin with this wonderful arrangement of Sleigh Ride. And we're going to finish our part of the program with this great one from a cartoon program I'm sure you're familiar with. You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Thank you very much. If you'll just give us just a few moments, we're going to reset the stage, and then we'll begin with our next group.
again. I wanted to take a moment. This is our missions band, as you will see from your program. And if you didn't get a program, there are programs in the back. You can grab one on your way out. These are members that have just joined us this fall. So with the jazz band, you heard kind of a combination of veterans that have been with us since the beginning, a year ago September, and veterans who just joined us this year, or maybe in January. But these are most of these, some of these have been with us for a while, but most of these are actually new members this fall. And sitting in with them are some of the mentors and a few UTSA students as well. So we're excited for you to hear their progress so far. But I would like to introduce a very special guest to you this morning, someone who is a passionate advocate for student veterans at UTSA, among many other causes, Peggy Amy, the First Lady of UTSA.
It's technically good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Peggy Amy, and my husband Taylor has the privilege of serving as the president of UTSA. He really wanted to be here with me today because I raved about the concert last year, but this is kind of a busy time of year and he had to be somewhere else. I wanted to begin by just thanking all of the veterans for your service and for all of your families who serve alongside of you. Thank you so much. You know, UTSA is very, very proud of the fact to say that we have approximately 5,000 military-affiliated students, and that includes active duty, veterans, and family, and that's a very, very significant number. And we have a wonderful organization on campus that my husband started to really show the university's commitment to veterans, and that's our Center for Military Affiliated Students, and I have the privilege of serving on their board. Mr. Fuller, I wanted to tell you my dad was a World War II Navy veteran and a very proud member of the VFW, and I spent a lot of family time in Cambridge, Massachusetts in the VFW hall and marching and parades, so it's something that's very dear to my heart. Thank you for being here today. A bunch of folks I wanted to thank and recognize, but first, and very importantly, if you are a UTSA student or faculty member, would you please stand and be recognized? Come on, everybody. We're just so excited about this concert and this effort, and the fact that we have so many students and faculty involved is just really terrific and exciting. I wanted to thank Tracy Cowden, of course, and Dean Zarmbinski. Really, without them, this would never have happened, and it's their passion and commitment and joy for music and its powerful involvement in all of our lives that we're here today. So thank you both for that. Juan Garcia is the new assistant director. Thank you. We appreciate your being here. And Noe, I'll probably mispronounce your last name. Noe, hi. He is a UTSA music major, and he's a work study student who's been managing Encore since September. So we're really grateful for that. I'm so impressed by how much the music has improved even over 1 year. I mean, those first few pieces were amazing. You know, it takes, I think, a lot of bravery and courage to put yourself out there and do things that maybe are new or something that you haven't done for quite some time, and to kind of go for the joy in life, something that I think that music very much does. So I just wanted to end by applauding all of you Encore majors for really going for it and for being part of this wonderful performance. Thank you very much, and happy holidays to everyone. I'm terrible, I should look at my notes. I wanted to make sure that I personally recognize Bexar County Clerk Adam Clark. Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to be here. Thank you very much.
As Dr. Cowden mentioned, this is our missions band, and they are largely made up of people who are new to Encore this year, many of them new to their instruments, not all of them, but many of them. And when you first start to play in a band like this on an instrument, we spend a lot of time playing in unison, everybody playing the same rhythms, the same notes at the same time, and it's a good way to kind of solidify those first notes that we learn on the instrument. So we're going to give you a little demonstration of that by playing a selection out of the method book we've been using, and this is entitled My Dreidel. All right, and now as you can imagine, it's a little bit daunting the first time you start playing and the person maybe sitting next to you or behind you is playing something different than what you're playing. That can be a little bit confusing until you get used to it. But it's time to move on now and play full band arrangements, and so we're going to begin that portion of their program with a piece entitled The First Christmas March. before we finish with this group, we have one more selection to do for you, and then we're going to switch the stage again and bring out the group we call our Alamo Band. We're going to finish this portion of our program with this arrangement of Jingle Bells. All right, we'll take just a moment to switch the stage, and then we'll finish our program. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the group you see before you, we call our Alamo Band. And this band is made largely up from folks who started with Encore when we began the program a year ago, October. And again, many of these folks had never played an instrument before that point. We also have a handful of folks who are retired military band musicians, and so we have a wide variety of experience levels presented in both of the groups, well, all three of the groups that you've heard today, but this group in particular. So we're very proud of the progress that they've made. We're going to begin this portion of the program with an arrangement of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. All right, before we finish the program, there's one other very special group that I want to recognize, and Dr. Cowden spoke about them earlier, but I just wanted to pass along my thank you to these folks, because really this program, there's just no way that one person could teach all of these different subjects at the same time and do everything else that needs to be done. We have to have individual teachers who are, when we break up into sections by instrument, are teaching these folks to play these instruments, the ones that have never played them before. And so these are our mentors, and I know not all of them are here on the stage, but if any of the mentors are in the audience, I want you to stand, and then have all of our mentors that are here playing with us, if you're up here on the stage. Would you stand up too, please? Myra's here, Dalton is here. Back in the percussion section. Thank you. And then there were several others that played with the Missions Band, and Juan Garcia is one of our mentors, and Eddie Aguilar teaching percussion and drums. So it's just not possible for one person to do this alone, and we really depend on their talents and their abilities. All right, we're going to conclude our program today with an arrangement of familiar Christmas music, and this is called Holiday Celebrations.